Good evening. Good evening, my name is Gold Vision, and tonight I'm playing World of Warcraft level 6. I'm trying to make slow and inevitable progress as my character. I just remembered the hotbars, that there's multiple ones. I haven't really come up with that many moves yet. It might be late, but the grind never stops. You know, you have to keep going no matter what when it comes to goals. My goal was to grind tonight too, so that all kind of works out. As you can see, I'm pretty well rested. I've had a long, relaxing weekend, and my aspiration hasn't been to go nuts, really, or to do anything too intense in the World of Warcraft. It's been more about finding myself, finding my center, finding my place in the world, and following my rules, my own personal rules. And so that's all kind of cool. Right now, here's a friend of mine. His name is Chippy Bus, and maybe we'll just hang out for a second with him. Good. Oh, there it is. This tab's not working. Wait, come on, do it. There we go. It's complicated. How's it going this evening? Wow, look at all this light leather that sold. 38 copper. Open all of them. There's an internal database error. That's awesome. Wow. That's a dream come true. I've known Chippy Bus for a little bit, and one of the beautiful things about World of Warcraft is, although he lives in a completely different city, we can still play video games together and share a brand new world, which isn't as brand new as I'd like. I guess it's already been a week. It's been a week since this game came out. Any quests you're working on? Monsters. It's in your heart, your mind. I don't actually talk like this all the time, but yeah, sure. I like to help other players, and I like to help my friends, and I like to make friends out of players, and I don't know, I like to enjoy the world that I'm sharing with people. So it's all pretty cool. Some nice opportunities. I wanted to apologize if it's a little late for people or early for people. I don't know. It's also a school night and it's not launch week, but the grind never ends, and it's I don't want to do it for too long, and I definitely had a lot of life responsibilities. You need I think you're doing seem totally fast to me. Seem to catch up. I definitely wanted to step into the game world though, and I've documented every second that I've spent outside of any city. I've accidentally had to log in every once in a while because of this queue stuff. And dancing. This queue stuff is a little outrageous, And I think it's diminishing, or players are, I mean, one player already hit level 60. So if anyone's great aspiration was for me to become the first player to get to level 60, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve that. But you probably know that that was never really my full aspiration. Now, it's kind of funny that I'm heading back to these islands, but at the same time, that's what a lot of this game is. Experiencing similar places and skinning beasts, grabbing ruined leather scraps, and of course I'm all about helping others out. It's probably not gonna have too much of a problem with these players. I'm playing on a PvP server. There was a question, what kind of server I'm on? And a PvE server is really important to, PvP server is really important to me because to be peaceful requires the choice to not be violent and to not attack other players. And if you remove that choice, then you don't get to be peaceful. It's kind of like a stasis almost, more than anything else. And so one of the big opportunities of being in a world where others can attack you, and choosing not to fight them, that's the real deal. And this is a swimming cow druid humanoid at night, swimming through people. Check out that moon again. I feel like it's even bolder this time. Let's turn around. Wow, there's a reflection. Didn't work. Okay. I'm pretty much just gonna have to work on myself here. My friend Chippy Bus has played quite a bit, I believe, of this game as well. Uh-oh. I hope he has a potion or something. Nope, he scared that guy away. Here we go. Oof. Oh, no. So close. Bold, though. Wow. This... I'm gonna look at the reflection in the water. I guess I don't know, the reflection's happening here behind me. And there he is, floating, running as a spirit. Oh, I probably need to help him out. I should get a couple more cool angles though. Yeah, look at that. Alright. Before he gets hurt anymore. I agree. it is an aspiration of mine to kind of max out this Rust experience. I don't know what the numbers are, but if you log out in an inn, then you accumulate, I guess, I don't know exactly if there's a real life comparison, but experience points are, I think, doubled. What does it say? 200% of normal experience. For participating, so that only applies, it can max out, I think, 1 level ahead, but it literally cuts the time it takes to level in half when I'm in a party with other players who accumulate experience points. I had a pretty successful day today. I started a new job, if only for a week. And everybody seems nice. And that was a big plus, because you never know. And then I managed to make it out to the gymnasium and exercise, which is when it came down to either taking my place in the queue or working on my health, I definitely wanted to make the right decision and take some priorities. Now I know that's not necessarily a full-on grind life. This. Oof. But you really do want a healthy work grind experience and balance. A grind work balance, absolutely. I don't know what's going on with these X. There's a question about the similarity between my personal life navigation and the characters that I play in video games, or at least World of Warcraft. And there's some similarities. I like to rest. I really like to stay in a pleasant place for an extended period of time. Sleeping. I try not to attack people or use coarse language. Anything that would interrupt people's psyche or their own personal experience. And I try to help others out in environments that are, I guess, socially appropriate. I think it's pretty socially appropriate to give people Mark of the Wild. I wish that I could do it in real life. I would. I really would. I would give Mark of the Wild to people if I had that. Increase armor by 25. It's just a nice, it's kind of like a compliment, really. Increasing somebody's personal armor. I do like to walk around, which my character seems pretty capable of. And I like to explore the world and revisit beautiful places. I know that I might have been here before, but I have the opportunity to, I must have a reason to be here, because I am. And so I have an opportunity to appreciate this place again from a different perspective. Albeit a similar one, with the moon in what I believe to be a different place. It really is. These purples and greens work together so well. It's a common theme in this game, these different colors. There's a question about the moon phase, and I don't know. I don't know if the moon travels around the planet or the world in a meaningful way. I hope so. When I've played in the past, I've often gone from starting zone to starting zone, but as I mentioned earlier, the player who reached the maximum level followed a pretty simple pattern of hunting monsters and just grinding out in the wilderness. It's the fastest way to do it. And because of my personal goal of not creating violence and not creating a situation where players need to attack, or so not picking up any quests that would require a friend or a guild mate or somebody to go out and fight for me. These kinds of things. If there's there was a quest where I needed to find somebody's haunted skull, I went and picked it up. But there's a limit there on how many quests allow you to just pick up pieces of the world without hurting anybody or attacking anybody. Oh, they're just following around. They're kind of doing the same thing. These guys are just following around this main character who is hunting. So there's one controversial idea about healing players who are committing acts of violence, and that I think is kind of the core issue about. Oh, is that a boat? Just saw a boat. I didn't know they came over here. And the way I see it is that my personal principles that are in the description of the video, the aspiration is that I personally don't attack or kill anything or anybody or anything. And in theory, if everyone were to conform to those standards, then there wouldn't be any violence. But by not being present, I don't have the opportunity to express those preferences. And then through that silence, through my lack of participation and my lack of showing up, those thoughts aren't even echoed. And then that's just one less voice expressing peace. If that makes sense. If I sit somewhere and I don't engage at all, or I choose not to log in at all, then my voice is never heard. And that's from in from my perspective and in theory, that's the whole point. Is to show up and make my peace. There's a mention that doctors have the same responsibility. That old Hippocratic oath, and it's a similar situation, I think. I've live streamed everything so far, and I do believe that when I join up in parties, the couple times that I have, got that guy, the couple times that I have, I've always, everyone's got their thing. I do alert the players that I have no intention of fighting, and that's my preference. And everyone so far has just accepted it, except for that one Tauren at the very, very beginning, but I think was more excited about advancing in quests and not having me pick up the pieces of raptor parts that I needed. I guess it was a bird, not a raptor, but similar idea. That was the first quest. It was to hunt, and I tried doing it by just accepting the quest because I thought I needed to be part of the tribe. But it seemed like the slippery slope situation of if I accept the hunting quest, then I'm just accepting the next hunting quest that it builds up to and perpetuating it. So I didn't complete that quest. I didn't personally attack anything, and I joined another player for a couple seconds who, in a similar way, fought some monsters, and then they sparkled. And my inventory's full again. Without visiting a bank. I haven't destroyed anything in the world. What's this? Are they in the... Are these eggs just on the ground? Oh yeah. I don't think I can do this quest. I can't do this quest. Yes, I hope you respect my... it's not opinion, it's preference. It's destruction. I'm hunting eggs. I'm sorry, I was trying to read some comments while strafing around and losing track of my friend. There's a question about a video I released somewhat recently, and I used some advanced editing tool that I was experimenting with to really make what I felt was a pretty fantastic and futuristic video. And it was I mean, it was good. It was really, the more I watched it, the more I liked it, the more I liked the style. But it was very different, very unique. And so I enjoyed doing it, and I still hope to do something similar, maybe not in such a strong manner. If I could get a little honest for a second, the the opportunity to make something like that and then experiment and think, well, I really like this, so that might mean that people won't necessarily receive it as well as I do, because I wanted to push boundaries and see where things could go. And then thinking things like, maybe this is too fast, or it's not, it's unsettling or surprising or too off the wall. I respect the people who watch my videos a lot, and I don't want to deny them these experiments and experiences. And I want, when I find that raw element, that raw experience, I want to share it. And that's what it was. It was about really when I discovered that style, and I got I got excited, and I didn't want to censor it in any way, and so that's why I created it and released it. A lot of people said they liked it, but it was I think it was just a little too ahead of its time. To toot my own horn a little bit. So we'll come back to it. We'll come back to that style. And hopefully soon. There's a question about if the eggs are fertilized, and not knowing. If there was a guarantee that they weren't, then it would be a different situation. But because there's no way to know. We saw the quest instructions. I don't think it said these animals are like game hens or livestock that is known not to reproduce via eggs. Why isn't it? Oh, I'm doing the wrong stuff. I hope you like rejuvenation. And it's also, wow, awesome. Got some new factoids about friends. There's another player you have enjoyed working with. Add them to your friends list. That's great. What is this one? Professions. The character can learn up to 2 professions, which will allow you to find or create items of value. So I just got to level 7. There's a comment that says that I could find out if the egg is fertilized by holding up a candle or flashlight. I haven't found one yet. I have a gun, which I will. I don't think this character even can use. It's red. You can see it. Sounds like a plan. Is that an upgrade? A big one. I think, oh, that's the one I bought from before. I'm trying to represent my people and my... I'm trying to represent my people with the and my skills and fall into place in this world. So to keep things clear, I'm staying with these novice robes until I earn something better. These guys are just wild. Watch out. Going nuts. I noticed this last time that normally when I level I don't really focus on other players, but because this attitude has kind of guided my actions, now I see other players who aren't on my team as people who I should heal. give priority to, even though I benefit in no way, in no immediate way. I mean, I benefit from them staying alive and contributing to my team, to our tribal goals and aspirations. Not necessarily in these violent ways, but in the more peaceful ones that they might engage in later. There was a continued comment about perhaps we'll someday get a flashlight or candlestick to investigate the eggs, and I do think that it's easier to find change, especially from developers of a somewhat fictional world, if you voice those desires. I think we've seen it several times in the last couple of years where just the comments and criticism of video game players have led to changes in the world. So I think we see it a lot, to be honest. And it's kind of beautiful because a lot of games end up becoming a reflection of the people who play them and the attitudes and the things that they enjoy they flourish out of the players. And I think that's really neat. And that's why I think having establishing principles and goals and what you actually want out of games and then seeking them is such a powerful opportunity for everyone who plays video games to really define the future they want and then look for it and ask for it. Oh, got caught on fire. I think this text troll is not about my revolutionary ideas. I don't need to do that. I haven't decided if I'm going to get a big user interface upgrade. So, I think they came over here because they needed help. It would be easier to heal. Sometimes there's user interface options to really simplify the healing process. Like I would just click on his name and then my spells would be up here. Spirit. I don't think so far I don't believe I've destroyed anything in the game world at all. Like I haven't drank water, which would reduce this down to 8. And that's the most extreme form of this aspiration, is to just avoid all unnecessary destruction. And I don't know. I've been maintaining it mostly for that same kind of are the eggs fertilized problem, where we don't know. But I know that if I don't destroy something, that definitely means that it's not destroyed. I don't think this is alive, this water. I don't think that's how it works. And there's always the debate of how reality actually is and then what I'm imposing on it or assuming. And so it's primarily observation based after a core reality check. Like seeing animals disappear, for example, was an indicator that animals don't exist forever after they're defeated. Their bodies go away and disappear. And that's why I can skin them, because I'm preserving what's left of them. I'm actually creating them. There's a lot of benefit to that, being able to contribute the light leather back to my community and preserve the animal that would otherwise be wasted. And that's, wow, this guy's pretty strong. There was a mention that the fact that this game exists is a reflection of the power that players have to influence their environment and the games that exist. And I absolutely agree. And I think it's awesome. And I really, if that is the message I could get across to my friend Got Tiny, if that's the message that I could convey sometimes, that it's the world is more dynamic than it seems. There's a problem I used to have when I was younger, and it happened in a lot of games because you would talk to an NPC, like I can't open this chest because it would destroy it. And I haven't crossed that line yet. I would talk to NPCs and they would just say, no, I can't help you or something. And so then I would listen to them and I would think, well, this NPC won't help me until I go do something else out in the world, and then they will open the door or whatever. And that really messed me up while I was growing during my formative years, because I would used to take no as an answer all the time. I would be like, well, they said no, and that's the reason why the gate's not going to open, or they're not going to let us on this ride, or they're not going to let us go through this door. It was all door-related things in my youth. In actuality, it's the sentiments that games allow for, and they push us through, that affect our decisions, our decision-making abilities, and allow us to explore different ways of conducting ourselves. The amount of multitasking that has to go into what I'm doing right now has made me a stronger video editor. The way I have to think about multiple problems and help solve the immediate ones, and then close down on the less significant or less dramatic situations. It's made me a better freelancer. And there's a variety of other skills that I've been developing and that I have developed through video games. And the idea that we can dynamically create games to solve all kinds of social problems that way and build psyches of individuals in healthy and productive ways. The more that we ask for that, the more that we aspire to do that. That I think is the biggest takeaway from these aspirations. It has been much less of a choice for me to not attack people. I actually really enjoy it now, and it kind of hurts in a weird way. I can't really explain. When I do, for example, slice up the blocks in Beat Saber, or destroy something even of low significance or likelihood of consciousness, the act of destruction has started to wane on my psyche, and I'm curious about it, and I feel like I started walking down this path, and the more that I do, the more that it becomes curious and interesting. And I don't necessarily demand or expect anybody else to ever do it, but I feel like this is a great benefit of doing it, is that I can share it and we can all see what it's like and what the consequences of it are. I hope he's getting what he needs out of these guys. I'm assuming he is. That looks painful. Wow. These guys just came to beat him up. Level 15. Gotta stay focused. I'm real weary of sizing people up according to their levels. I don't know if that's the healthiest way to make exchanges with people. To look around and then see someone's name and then say, what level are you? It's a little dystopian. It makes me think of augmented reality and how it might Watch out, the tigers are hunting you. The idea that we're just summarized into one simple, you just look, oh, he's level 7, so I pretty much understand him and I know what he's capable of, and I know what he's not, and what doors he can open. I don't think so. Discolored Fang. There's a comment about video games and their potential in education. And I follow, I don't know who it is on Twitter, which is terrible, I'm sorry, but they post all these virtual reality experiences that are used for education. And it's things like repairing transformers outside of a power plant. There's one that inspectors can use to identify problems in machinery, or safety inspectors. And there's all kinds of virtual reality video game experiences that I think will get made, even if they aren't right now. But the opportunities for education software, which I don't think it would be that hard to make into a game that's advanced enough that it was as compelling and interesting and beautiful as this one. If Activision Blizzard tried to make a I don't know, car mechanic game where you drive around the world and get new parts and upgrade and learn about all the different makes and models. If there was high levels of collaboration there, everybody could learn so much so fast about all kinds of things. And maybe it's not even could, it's maybe they will. But that's where my head is, and that's where my head's at. And when I play a game like this, I want to understand what exactly the draw is, because this is such a fantastic world that I'm sure it's millions, right? Millions of people play this game. And they just get pulled in, and it's the leveling system, and maybe it aligns well with our education systems. Maybe there's a lot more that's on the horizon that this game is just building us up to. One of the things that I really wish I could do is learn languages. I would like to be able to learn different languages. Like if in this Tiger there was like a flashcard, with lack of a better thought, game. And you'd slowly learn the words, kind of like No Man's Sky, except instead of learning Gek or one of the alien languages, you could just learn a foreign language you put into it. You just pick something you're unfamiliar with, and then you would accumulate word after word, and that would be a foundation to begin to really understand something piece by piece. They have gamified some language games, but there's not a lot of, and it's not like a World of Warcraft world exploring language game. It's kind of just an idling game, for lack of a better term. One of the games where you on repeats click the same icons over and over again. I think World of Warcraft offers a lot of variance. In fact, there's enough variance on this island, which is one of the few islands I've gone to as this character. Can't pick that up. But there's enough variance here that I've been lost in it, and I've just been enjoying it. One of the things I've realized about a lot of games is that at any given moment, your avatar is only ever in one place at a time. And you can spend all your time focused on the next place you're going to go. And I've done that, just thinking about how excited I am for the next part of the game. But it feels like those parts are inevitable, the next parts. There's always going to be something new. And in the meantime, if you're listening to cool music and under a starry sky, listening to the waves, and seeing the green of the trees, if you put all that together, it's a work of art that you're just walking through. At least like 10 artists put this together. And maybe they didn't paint it in oil, but they painted it in something. And now they've created these plants and these animals. And you can interact with the environment, take different perspectives, frame your own canvas. I don't know, appreciate that. That's where I go, because you're gonna rush to the next place and the next place, the next place. And if you gamify it, if you purely gamify it, and you just look at your number, and you ignore the world, and you're just like, how do I get to the next thing? How do I speed that up? You're gonna miss the whole point. Excuse me. Oh, it must taste good. At least look like I do. I'd hope I do. I guess. That's a weird thing to aspire to, but rather it tastes good than bad. I think that I want to be quoted on that. Killed every tiger. Is there an overpopulation? This one island has gotten me, I believe, up from 5 to almost 7.5. That's fair. It's so peaceful out here. This cove. I don't know what that is. That bar. It's probably something peaceful. It's really far away. And I'm sorry if you're in this guild and you feel like I'm not participating a lot. I don't know if anybody here is, but I just accepted an invite because I think it's better to be part of a community than to be completely out of it. But I don't know what they stand for. In fact, right now it says that my rank in the guild, I don't know why it's hard to find, is a pirate. No, I'm an apprentice. I got promoted, I think. Sorry, I was a pirate yesterday. Or last time I logged in. Does it say it somewhere here? Guild status. Oh, they picked up a thesaurus. Wow. I'm doing okay. And it's Metal Master who's the guild owner. I just now learned that. That's how they do it in the southern hemisphere. That's a generalization. I try to avoid those, but okay. I'm down with that. Just about out of to packs. Silverleaf. I know I've gone over it, but I can't pick those flowers and risk killing them, removing them from the world. I don't remember these reflections. It's so cool. Why is a shipwreck the whole time? Peaceful shipwreck. There's just so many good views. You need a NVIDIA 2080 to get these reflections. It's not just a stock image. I'm kidding. This is not a... This video card is definitely not the most recent generation. There's a downgrade option, right? I don't know if I want to do it. Base settings. Shadow quality. Wait, I haven't enabled raid and battleground settings. Am I drowning? I look like I'm okay. What are we saying? Classic. I don't see it. Anti-aliasing. Wow, we could really amp that up. Risk it. Over here. Oh, here you go. Oh, it just... okay. Whoa. I remember this water. Wow. See that? It's just like a noise animation. I should probably help out. Wow, this water. I know that I kept reacting to every little landmark that I saw when I first started playing, and this water is doing the same thing. It's crazy. Oh, broken bow. Where's this guy? Now I don't know how. These guys have always been an interesting group. Lobster guys, lobster and humanoids. Quest is it? Are they murder tools? It's probably part of a chain. Sometimes the quests seem pretty... I hate saying this word wrong. Innocuous. Sometimes they seem that way. And I do take them at face level. There was a quest to just deliver a letter. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna assume that there's nothing malicious, just in an envelope that a guard gives me to give to an innkeeper. I mean, I could not trust anybody, but where does that put us? Underwater breath. I forget what the upgraded graphics look like. Oh. Already forgot how to do it. And recommended. Is that gonna erase my hard drive? I'll just do 10. The water. It's reflective now. It seems like it's not even moving compared to that water moving before. I wonder if there's big waves somewhere. There's big, tremendous waves. I don't think they do have weather. They do have weather, but I have only seen the rain. I haven't seen like a hurricane or tornado, volcano in the distance. There's the infamous one, but I don't know about, well, I guess, I'm sorry, volcano is not really a weather type. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they forecast that. But I definitely haven't seen any new snow yet. I haven't loaded up the contemporary World of Warcraft for a while. So I don't know all the graphical upgrades and what kind of new features are here. I do really like the glow though. It's nice. Head back. For tonight. You know, I'm all about the grind life, but a healthy work grind balance, it's really important. Absolutely. How do you spell absolute? These sparkling guys. Wow. That's that's fun. How he needs it. I will greet it, just getting past. That's a good roll. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done a roll for loot. It wasn't bind on, wow, it's bind on equipped. That'll fetch a pretty penny on the auction house. But you'll probably use it. I don't think gear before level, I don't know, 12 really gets the kind of draw on the auction house you're looking for, unless somebody's really just trying to finance a secondary character from level 1. Does that need level 5? That's cool. I forget why I can't use it. It might be because I am a druid. And it's just very unnaturally to chop up stuff with an axe. I'm right back. We're right back here at Razor Hill. Wow. That's awesome. I sold a bunch of leather for 38 copper each. I don't know what the current auction house prices are. I probably got ripped off. It's probably fantastic. But we'll see how that goes. I might do a little auction house speculation. Not tonight. Tonight I feel very accomplished. Tonight I feel like I made some great progress. And that light leather shows. Got to hang out with a friend in a different world. fill up a literal progress bar. I think maybe that's it. Maybe all it is this bar. If I had one of these for my everyday, just keeping track of everything I did and giving me a couple points, especially if I was arrested, that'd be wonderful. I'm gonna have to get back to the bank at some point and maybe sell some of the stuff off at the inn. But thank you for watching, everybody. I'm glad I could share this documentation of this experience.
What can I help you with?
I haven't decided exactly how to share all of the videos so far. It's all sitting there somewhere, unlisted, but it I might have to make it into something a little more truncated, a little easier to digest. We'll see. And thank you all for watching. Thanks for all the suggestions and the comments. It really helps to reinforce my principles by having to justify them in every moment, and that's my favorite parts about sharing this with the world. And I'll be back on, obviously. I'm all about the grind. And I hope you have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.